So next we will start studying how these IP addresses are allocated to the end devices. Okay. So that is the detailed study of it. So there is one organization called as ISP, or this is Internet Service Provider. So this is an international organization. Along with that, there is one more organization, ICANN. So these two organizations are responsible for distributing the IP address. It is not the case that if I like some number, we Indians have very passion about the VIP numbers. So if I like some number and if I want to take, then it is not possible for me to take that number on my own. So for taking any number, the number you should be have a permission of these two organizations, ICANN and ISP, which are responsible for distributing the IP addresses. For example, say when you want number to your bike or to your vehicle, you go to the RTO office and then you take a number from them, registration number from them. Okay, so similarly for taking IP address, you have to take the permission of ICANN and ISP. Okay, now for example, see your mobile number or your laptop also have the IP address. When you connect to the internet, you get IP address for your laptop or the mobile. So can you tell me whether you have taken a permission from ICANN for taking the IP address? If someone have contacted these two organizations for the permission? Yes, anyone have taken a permission for using the IP address from these two organizations? Okay, as I have said, it is required to have a permission of ISP and ICANN. So whether you have taken a permission for using the IP address to your device, to your mobile or to your computer. Yes. Okay, for learning a computer network subject, we should be having a curiosity about how actually a computer network works. So if you don't have the curiosity, then you will not learn. It is not just for the examination or academics you are learning this subject. So this subject is very important for IT students or computer engineering students, that they should know how actually computer network works. Okay, so for understanding that, you should be having a curiosity. That means how IP address is assigned to my mobile. So do you know IP address of your mobile? Anyone? Do you know IP address of your mobile or laptop? Anyone have taken some effort to check an IP address of your mobile or your laptop? In your settings of your mobile and search for IP, and it will show IP address. So it may show IP address of type IPv6, or sometimes if you are connected to Wi-Fi, or if your internet service provider is using the IPv4 addresses, then you will get an IP address of IPv4. So either you will get IPv6 or IPv4. So if your mobile is dual SIM, you will get two IP addresses of two service providers and so on. So I think you should be checking these things as an engineer. You should have that kind of the curiosity, that how your mobile is connected to the internet. Okay, so what I was telling you, that for taking or using an IP address, you need to take a permission from the internet service provider, or ICANN. So these are the international organizations that manages the IP addresses. Okay, so we never go to these organizations for using the IP addresses. So who goes to these organizations for using the IP address? So where we get IP address from? So we get IP address from internet service provider, like You may have service of Jio or Airtel or say Vodafone Idea. Okay, so these are our service providers. And what this international organization does, instead of giving the IP address to every individual, instead of giving the IP address to every individual, those assigns a block of IPs. Those assigns a block of IPs to this internet service providers. To these internet service providers. And whenever we connect to these services, at that time we get an IP address from this service provider. Whenever we connect to the use these services, we get an IP address from these service providers who already had taken a permission of internet service provider for using those IP addresses. So based on which addresses are available with this Geo, Airtel or Vodafone Idea, you will get an IP address. Similarly, if you connect to our college Wi-Fi, our college Wi-Fi is using the private addresses. Okay, so what is this private address that you are going to learn in detail? So these private addresses are in the range of 172.16.0.0 to 172.16.255.255. So these are the ranges of the IP addresses that you will get if you connect your mobile in the college Wi-Fi. Okay, so these are the addresses that college will assign to you. So whenever you are using internet service of any organization, that organization is responsible for assigning an IP address to your device. Okay, uh, this is uh, something which is not included in the syllabus, but maybe uh, if you want to know. So let us go with the syllabus. In classical addressing, the address space is divided into five classes: A, B, C, D, and E. In classical addressing, the address space is divided into five classes: Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class E. So when the internet was started around in year 1990, at that time that internet was very not that popular. That means there were limited number of hardware devices, desktops, even the mobile phones were not using the internet. That means mobile phone doesn't have the internet facility. Okay, so there were very limited number of devices and limited number of users who were using the internet. So at that time, they did not understand the need of IP addresses. Did not understand the need of IP addresses. So as there were the 2 raised to 32 addresses, they thought these are very much sufficient for the current need, and that's why in order to manage these IP addresses, they have divided these IP addresses into five different classes. They have divided these 2 raised to 32 addresses into five different classes. So the classical addressing, the address space is divided into five classes: Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class E. Okay, so we will understand what is difference between these classes. Okay, so if you have given any IP address in binary notation, for example, say you have this address as 01000010 dot something. Then next address is given as 10111010. Okay. And one more address has dot remaining three octets, and one more address has 11010000. Okay, dot like this. Okay, so based on the starting based on the starting bit, the class of the IP address is identified. Based on starting bit, the class of the IP address is identified. So this is the first byte. You have the IP address of 4 bytes, isn't it? IP address is given as 01010000.0000 1010.0101 dot 1111 1010. Okay, so this is the complete IP address. So out of that, I have just written the first byte. This is the first byte. Byte means 8 bits. Byte means 8 bits. So based on the first byte, you can identify the class of the IP address. So if the first byte is starting with a 0, if the first byte is starting with a 0, then you can say it is a class A address. So it is starting with 0, so it is a class A address. If the first byte is starting with 10, it will be called as class B address. It will be called as class B address. Then if it is starting from 110, it is called as class C address. Then class D starts with 1110 and class E starts with 4 ones. Okay, so you have to just remember this. You have to just remember like this: 0, then 10, then 110, then 111, sorry, 0, and finally 1111. So it is simple to remember. First 0, then 10, 110, 1110, and 4 ones. A, B, C, D, and E. These are the 5 classes. So if you have given the IP address in binary notation, then you can identify a class of it using the first byte. So if the first byte is starting with 0, it is A, 10 it is B, 110 it is C, 1110 it is D, and all ones it is E cross. But if you are given the IP address using a decimal notation, so this is a decimal notation. So if the first byte is starting from 0 to 127, it is a class A. Now why it is from 0 to 127? Let me write this. So class A is always starts from 0. So range of class A is from all zeros, and this will be the last address. Am I right? Because class A should start from 0. So this is starting from 0, and this also is starting from 0. So this is the minimum number which is starting from 0, and this is the maximum number which is starting from 0. So if you take a decimal of this, it will be a 0. And if you take a decimal of this will be a 127. Count this. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64. This is 127. Okay, so that's why if the address is given in decimal notation, if the first decimal is between 0 to 127, we will call it as a class A. 0 to 127, call it as a class A. Now class B is starting from 10. So minimum number starting from 10 is this 10. And maximum number that is starting from 10 is 10, and then this you can make it as 111. So if you count this number is a 128. Am I right? This is 128. And what is this number? Here this 64 is absent. So 255 minus 64 is 191. It is 191. So this is 191 number. So class B is having a range from 128 to 191. Class C is having a range from 192 to 223. Class D 224 to 239. So this class D and class E addresses you will rarely find. You will rarely find this class D and class E addresses actually, because these are used for the special purposes, not used for the end devices. These are used for the special purposes that we will understand later. So class C is from 192 to 223, class D from 224 to 239, and class E from 240 to 255. Okay, so this is just identification of classes. So your class full addressing or IPv4 addresses are divided into a different classes: class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. And how they differ? They differ with starting byte or the first byte. So if first byte is starting with 0, or if first decimal is from 0 to 127, it is class A. If first byte is starting with 10, then it is class B, or if first decimal is starting from 128 to 191, it is class B. Class C, 110, a decimal 192 to the 223. Class D, 1110, decimal 224 to 239. Class E, all ones, 240 to 255. So this is a representation of the classes. Okay, now let us check your understanding with these questions. Find the class of each of the address. So these are the classes given in binary notation. So tell me the class of the first address. You have to just check this first byte. Take this first byte and the starting bits, and tell me the class of this first address. Anyone in the chat box? Let me know the class of the first address. What is the class? It is not that difficult. Yeah. So that means some of you are paying attention. So it is a class A. Why it is class B? Class A because it is starting from 0. So we have said that 0, then 10, 110, 1110, and 1111. Only you have to remember this. Just go on changing the position of 0. So 0 is at first position, it will go to second, third, fourth, and it then vanish. It will go to the fifth position. This is not good. Okay. So these are classes. Now tell me which class second one. Second, this one. Answer for this is class C. I have written here. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is E. Easy to remember. Start from 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. And just write ABCD and you will identify the class. Okay, so this is class C. Now next, decimal notation. 14. 14 is which class? This address, answer C, is 14.23.120.8. Okay, so let me tell you the trick of remembering this range of the decimals. So A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so first is 0 to 127, that you should remember. Okay, so let me write here so that you can understand. So first is class A is 0 to 127. Why 127? Let me tell you. So these are the bit positions. Let me write. Every decimal of classful addressing have 8 bits. And if you check, the bit position of this is a 128. Bit position of this is a 64. Bit position of this is a 32. Then 16. Then 8421. Am I right? Okay, so you will start from 0. You will start from 0 and will add 128 to it. Will add 128 to it. So this will be a 0. Then next is 128. After adding 128, you have to add this 64. So this is 0 plus 128 plus then this add the 64. So the 64 after adding it will go as 192. Then add 32. So adding 32 will give you 224. Then add 16. It will go 240. Are you getting this? First you will start from 0. Then you will add this 128 here, then 64, then 32, and then 16. And this will give you the ranges. This will give you the ranges. So 0 to 127. One number before this. 128 to one number before 191. 192 to 223, 224 to 239, and 242, last number 255. Simple. I hope you have got this. Okay, now let us write this again, the ranges. Class A, B, C, D, E. Simple thing. You will never forget the starting ranges. If you remember this trick, first write 0. So class A starts from 0. Then for class B, add 128 to it. So we have added this 128. Then add 64 to it. So adding 64 will give you 192. Then add 30 to it. Class D 224, and then add 16 to it. So class E 240. Now the range. So class B is starting from 128. So for class A, the range will be from 0 to 127. Class C is starting from 192. So class B will have the range from 128 to 191. Class C from 192. So it will have the range from 192 to 223. D from 224 to 239, and class E from 240 to 255. So this 255 is the last number. Or if you add a 16 to this, you will get 255. Total 16 addresses. Okay. So these are the ranges. Okay, now you can easily tell. Which class is this? Class A. Which class is this? Class E. Let me give some more examples. 220.100.100.100. So which class is this? There's somebody? A reply? 220.100.100.100. Tell me the answer of this. The next address that I have written. Can you tell me the class of this address? Yes, absolutely, class C. Then let me write 2. Let us write address of our cyber room 172.16.69.78. Which address is this? Sorry, which class is this? 172.16.69.78. What is this address? Absolutely, class B. Okay, so now you are very much familiar with identifying the class of the address. So don't forget this. Two tricks for binary: start from 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and finally 1, 1, 1, 1. Class A, B, C, D, E. And for decimal, just go on adding 128 to 0, then 64, then 32, then 16, and you will get the classes. Okay. Now, number of blocks and block size in class full IPv4 addressing. Number of blocks and block size in class full IPv4 addressing. Okay. Meaning of a number of blocks. So, block means networks. Block means networks, and block size means number of hosts. Host means end machines. Number of hosts that can be connected in network. Let me write this as max number of hosts that can be connected in the network. So block is nothing but a network. Okay, for example, say a network of our college, or for example, say a network of Google, or for example, say network of Yahoo, or network of Maharashtra Bank, or network of Jio, or network of Airtel, or network of Vodafone Idea. So these all have their own networks. Okay, so how many networks, these kinds of the networks found with class A? So total number of networks that can be found in class A are 128. Are 128. Why it is 128? Because the number of bits that are reserved in class A. So this, let me write it as a class A address. The class A address is represented using like this, say 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10. So out of this is known to be uh, the network address or network part in class A, and this is known to be a host part. This is known to be host part in class A. Okay, now how many number of networks that can be formed in class A? Because class A always starts with a 0. So it is from 0, 0, 0, 0 and 2, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that means it is from 0 to 127. So the network IDs in class A can be from 0 to 127. That means total number of blocks that can be found in class A is a 128. Total number of blocks that can be found in class A is a 128 because the starting bit for class A should be a 0. Starting bit for class A should be a 0. And total number of bits that are used for network in class A is 8 bits. So these are the 8 bits, those are used in a class A for a network address. So that's why number of blocks that can be found in a class A are from 0 to 127. That means total number of 128 blocks. Okay. Now these remaining are the remaining is the host part. That means these 8 bits are used for 8 bit in class A are used for network and remaining 24 bits are used for host. The remaining 24 bits are used for the host. That means there are 2 raised to 7 networks that can be formed because the first bit is not utilized in representation of the network. It is compulsory at 0. It is compulsory at 0. So that's why 2 raised to 7, 128 are total number of networks. And these 24 bits are used for the host. So 2 raised to 24. If you make this as 2 raised to 24, you will get this number as this much. So these are total number of hosts or size of the block, 2 raised to 24. Then class B. Class B have total number of networks as 16,384. 16,384. That means how class B is represented. Let me tell you. So class B also have the network part and the host part. Let me write our CyberROM address 172.16.69.78. Wait a minute, I have a call. Okay, so this is one of the address in class B. So in this address, this part, first 2 decimals are called as the network part, and this part is called as the host part. This one is the host part. Okay, that means first 16 bits are used for the network and remaining 16 bits are used for the host. First 16 bits are used for the network and remaining 16 bits are used for the host. But out of the 16 bits, the class B should start from 10. Class B should start from 10. So these 2 bits are not used for representing the address. Remaining bits are used. That means out of 16, these 2 have 1, so it is equals to 14. So this is equals to 2 raised to 14 number of blocks that can be created and 2 raised to 16 number of hosts that can be created in a class B. So the total number of hosts are 2 raised to 16, 65,000 300 and 65,536. Okay, so if you want to confirm this, whether it is correct or not, we are saying this is 2 raised to 14, 16,384. So this is 2 raised to 14. So what will be 2 raised to 15? Double of this. So this will be 32,000 something. And 2 raised to 16 will be 64,000 approximately something. So this is becoming 65,000. So we are that we are saying it is 2 raised to 16 and this is 2 raised to 14. Okay, now similarly for a class C, can you tell me a class C, one of the address of class C? Let us write one of the address of class C. And let us write this as 192.168.10.10. So this is class C address. Now in class C, these first 3 decimals are used for the network, and remaining decimal is used for the host. That means 8 bits are used for the host and 24 bits are used for the network. But out of this 24, the first 3 bits, that should be 110. That means 3 bits are not used, reserved, and remaining are 21. So this number is 2 raised to this number is 2 raised to 21. This number is 2 raised to 21, and this number is 2 raised to 8. So 2 raised to 8 is 256. So total number of hosts that can be supported in class C are 256, and total number of networks are 2097152. Okay, so just remember this, whatever I have told you. This will be useful for you for understanding the network. So wherever you will go, you will find an IP address, and the interviewer may ask you, first question is, which class is used in this organization, so that you should be able to tell. Then there will be several questions, that which will be a broadcast address, which will be a subnet address, what will be a default gateway, what will be a subnet mask. So that kind of the question that we will be studying further in this unit. Okay, so this is what the summary of IPv4 addresses. And now let me revise this: class A, class B, and class C. And let me write here network and here as host. So in class A, 8 bits are for network, and remaining 24 bits are used for the host. In class B, 16 bits are used for the network, and remaining 16 bits for the host. Class C, 24 bits are used for the network, and remaining 8 bits are used for the network. So actually, if we consider the reserved bits, then actual number of bits that are representing the network are 7 in class A, then 14 in class B, and then 21 in class C. These are the actual. But network part is of 8 bits, 16 bits, and 24 bits. And actual bits used to represent the network are 7 in class A, 14 in class B, 21 in class C. So this is just a summary of what we have studied in class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. Okay, now let us discuss this class A, class B, class C. So if you observe here, in class A, there are less number of networks, but if you find a number of hosts in this network are over 16 million, Okay, so do you know any organization which has the 16 million computers in that organization? So there is no such a organization which have this much requirement of IP addresses, 16 million devices in a single network. So there is no such a organization. So if you are using a class A, so if you have been given a class A address, maybe it is starting from 1 or 2 or 3 up to 127, then most of the IP addresses of this class will be wasted. Because why those will be wasted? Because total number of addresses are over 16 million, and If you have the devices in numbers of 1,000, 10,000, or 1 lakh, or 10 lakhs, then remaining IP addresses that will be unutilized. That will be unutilized. So disadvantage of class A is that more IP addresses are wasted or not utilized. Instead of saying wasted, we will say it as not utilized. Okay. Now go with class B. Class B have this 16,000 networks. Over 16,000 networks, and each network in class B supports or gives you 65,000 plus host addresses, 65K plus host addresses. Okay, even this requirement is also a very huge for many of the organizations. So if we consider our college may have around 3,000 to 4,000 say devices in your college that are connected to the internet. This I am telling your maximum possibility. So at a time, there might be around 500 devices only that are connected to the network, which are in the on condition. Okay, so that means remaining IP addresses, what will happen with remaining IP addresses? Those will be unutilized. Those will be unutilized. So even though class B is making some range of the host to lesser number, still it is a very huge. Still it is a very huge. So that's why this also is not efficient solution. Then come with a class C. So class C can have only 256 addresses in each of the network. Only 256 addresses in each of the network. Now this 256 addresses, for most of the organizations, this number of addresses will be a lesser. This number of addresses will be a lesser because there are many of the organizations which have the requirement of 256. So if you consider our college only, we may have a requirement of around 3,000 to 4,000. So class B is very large and class C is very small to accommodate that requirement. Okay, so meaning of this is that this classful addressing is not an efficient way. So if you consider a class A, millions of IP addresses are not utilized. If you go for class B, thousands of IP addresses will not be utilized. And if you go with a class C, then these IP addresses are not sufficient. So these are over the requirement, and these are lesser than the requirement. So this classful addressing itself is not an efficient solution for allocating the IP addresses. So I hope this now you have a clear idea about the classical addressing, what classical addressing is, and how they are used over the internet. So let me tell you for your understanding that our college is using which class of IP address. Okay, so I'm expecting answer from you that our college is using which class of the network. Can somebody tell me? Which class of the network our college is using? A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Yes, absolutely, class B. Let me tell you one example of IP address 172.16.69.78. So this is our cyber ROM address. So this is our class B because this is 170. Class B starts from 128 to 191 is the class B. So that's why this is the class B address. Let me show you. I am connected to our college LAN, and let us check what IP address I have. Command to check your IP address on Windows is ipconfig. So you can see here this one. Here 172.16.11.215. Okay, so one of the address that I had given you, sample address that I had given you was this 172.16.69.78. And what is my IP address? My IP address is 172.16.11.215. 11.215. Okay, what is difference between these two addresses? Can you tell me what is the difference between these two addresses? If you check, this part is same, 172.16. This part is same for both the addresses. So what is this part? This part is a network part. This part is a network part. So network part will be same for all the addresses. Network part will be same for all the addresses. Only what will change? The host part will change. So here host part is 11.215. Here it is 69.78. So as both the addresses belongs to same network. So this is CyberROM address of our college, and this is the address I have received. So this is my PC address. So my PC and CyberROM are in the same network. So if they are in the same network, then what should be same? The network part should be same. So as it is a class B have 16 bits in the network part, or first two decimals in the network part. So that's why 170.16 is same. 170.16 is same. So if you check the IP address of any machine in our college network, you will find it will always start from 172.16. Now, why 172.16? It is because this is a private address. So, what is private address? What is public address? For that, you will have to study the network address translation. Okay, so I will cover that in the coming lectures, or I will give you some video by which you can understand the net. So this network layer is a huge topic, so that's why I had asked you to watch some of the videos, but very less number of students, maybe 2 or 3 only, have watched those videos. So for understanding this network layer or the IP addressing in details, you will have to read the book, Horizons book, or you can watch the videos, or you can learn from the PPTs also. So whatever the medium that is suitable to you, go through that medium and try to learn the things. Okay, so we will stop with this. We'll take some break and we'll continue with the next lecture. Maybe I will be conducting the lecture of computer network only at say at what time? It is 10:15 now.